if you're only doing it because it's a paycheck, you're not going to want to get up in the morning and do it. But I really like what I'm doing, and I like the people who are in our program. My staff is the best staff. They're the ones who make me look good. They really do. They're the ones on the front lines welcoming people. I get all the notes and emails from people thanking me for what my staff has done. I'm sharing this award with them because they're the ones who make it possible. I really kind of fell into tourism. My first job when I moved to the state of Alabama, I worked at the Chamber of Commerce in Athens, Alabama. And then the position came open for a temporary person at the Ardmore Welcome Center. So I started as a temp. I was only going to work 120 days. While I was working as a temp, the manager resigned. And the administrator at the time said, hey, why don't you apply for the manager position as well as a TPR position? Well, I made the register for the manager's position and was hired. So it was unique in that I went from a temp to the manager of a program. I think when you live in Alabama, you don't really appreciate what it has to offer. So working here for tourism in the welcome centers, we get to know what there is to do and see and experience on a day-to-day basis. And so when we tell people about things, just to see the excitement on their face, or for them to say, I didn't know Alabama had that, it's really gratifying for us working for the program.
Okay. Oh, nice. Pearls. All right, that makes sense. My name is John Dersham, President, CEO of DeKalb Tourism, better known as Paradise here in Northeast Alabama. Mountains, valleys, beautiful scenery, waterfalls. Our number one goal is to get people that do not live here come here and visit, and especially to spend the night in one of our lodging facilities. We have over 400 short-term rentals here, rental cabins, B&Bs, Airbnb, hotels, motels, campgrounds. And the longer they stay, the more money they'll spend to our economy here in DeKalb County. My greatest joy working in tourism is the people that I'm surrounded with all the time. And I'm talking about my staff. I'm talking about the Alabama tourism industry as a whole. I'm talking about the elected officials I work with. I'm talking about the visitors that come, because we have just delightful people that come here. They talk to us, they enjoy their trips here, we treat them well, and they come back over and over and over. So I'm almost 72 and I'm still working, so it means I love it and enjoy it very much.
That's what's great about this industry, is that my day-to-day is always different. I have the opportunity to share my hometown with visitors and potential visitors, and that's something that I think is really cool. I'm kind of a gypsy at heart, and I grew up here in Guntersville, and growing up here, all I wanted to do is see the world and leave here and go off on my own and experience the world. And then I really had an opportunity to do that. My husband was military, and so we traveled all over the world and have come back home to share my hometown with other people. And that's a really cool concept. It's just fun to be in tourism, It's fun to storytell and share your community with others. And I get excited when new things are happening in our community. Being surrounded by a community of really entrepreneurs who are doing really cool things, it makes my job so much easier and so much more fun, because I have just this great product to sell. Because really, I'm marketing what other people do well. My product is theirs. I'm just proud to be part of it. People might not think tourism is challenging, but for me, there is a challenge. We have to convince people, and sometimes it's hard to convince people to come south, to come to Alabama. choose us over South Alabama where there's beaches. How do we creatively sell a small town? And are we growing our economy? That's, important too. Economic development is a big piece of what we do in tourism. And so I think for me, all of those different things coming together, so every day's not the same, that little bit of challenge, that's why I love what I do.
I have been working here for 43 years. I have worked for 8 governors and 7 tourism directors. In 43 years, there has been a lot of changes. Like, for instance, when I first started working here, we didn't even have computers. There's people here that weren't even born when I started working here. And to be actually in the same job and just all the changes that have happened in tourism, all the growth. So a lot of things are different from 1980 to 2023. The way I got this job, I got on register to be a state employee, and I really just lucked out being chosen by the tourism department. That was the agency that needed this position. And so I, came and interviewed, and it was like, goodness, this is going to be a fun job. Like tourists, that's a fun thing to do. So, but then I've been here over the years. Obviously, with 43 years, you want to stay and you must enjoy it. So I'm still here. I like getting to go and see different places in Alabama. I've gotten to go on several things, places to see that I wouldn't have seen normally. I've learned all about the state and get to share it with people. We go to travel shows at times in other states trying to encourage people to vacation here. And that's always fun to share what we have here with others.
Oh, the pearls. Oh, so cool. Oh, Tammy is so sweet. I just love her. Wear those proudly. Oh, makes me want to cry. I'm so passionate about this place and the Swampers who created it. I mean, these 4 young men in their 20s that just had a dream and a lot of things stacked against them. And they came in here and DIY with the burlap and, the styrofoam and all of that. It inspires me every day that if they can do that with all the tools that we have now in our lives, then, it makes me a better person to be in here every day. First and foremost, I'm usually working on marketing opportunities and better ways to promote the studio and the day-to-day operations of scheduling groups, getting events planned, that kind of thing. And, it's kind of funny because we don't have a lot of typical days because, when we have Lana Del Rey walk in or Chris Stapleton records and gets a Grammy here, you don't have that in everyday jobs or office jobs. So it's definitely a benefit in the people we get to meet. Knowing that we're in charge of sustaining the sound here and honoring the legacy is very important. And it's a thing that has meaningful work to me.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, those are gorgeous. And believe it or not, I had my grandmother's pearls and I broke them and lost some of them. So this is so special. Thank you so much. I did not plan a career in tourism. It just sort of happened. I came across this job almost by accident, and I fell in love that day, and I've been here ever since. My greatest joy is meeting people from all across the world. We had 1,500 volunteers last year. We had 52,000 visitors from all over the world, and I have just an incredible staff, a board, and every day I get to meet new people, and it's just so exciting to share my love and joy about where I am and about our area. I mean, North Alabama is just an amazing place, and it's so wonderful to share that with people who have never been here before. I think one of my favorite memories at Burritt is having a business paper that I had in my hand eaten by one of the goats in our barnyard. As many times as I go, the goats are probably my favorite. And every time I go back to the barnyard, if I have something in my hand, it never fails that they're going to get through the gate and start eating them. So I've lost a lot of financial reports and different things I've had in my hands, even a few shirts. You've got to always be careful, but I love them so much, and it's always just a great part of my day to visit the animals. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that I can't do everything myself, that I have to rely on other people and trust other people, and I do. And everybody may not do something exactly the way you do, but they might do it better. They have a different idea or an opinion or a different way of looking at things. And I think, a lot of people joining together just makes it better.